that picture of power, the Triple Crown winner.
Secretariat has opened a 22-length lead.
Dan Whip, Alydar on the outside driving. Affirmed and Alydar heads apart. Affirmed's got a nose in front as he come onto the wire.
A quarter of a mile to go in the Belmont. Easy goer on the outside takes command.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris Fowler and welcome to Run for the Crown on ESPN Classic. The year was 1987 and in the news were scandals of church and state featuring Jim and Tammy Baker, Fawn Hall and Ollie North. In horse racing, it had been almost 10 years since Affirmed captured the last Triple Crown and it seemed likely the drought would continue. In the spring of '87, Alysheba, an 8-to-1 long shot entering the Derby, had won just once in his previous 10 starts. But though the colt's results did not impress, his credentials did. His jockey, Chris McCarron, a proven winner. His trainer, Jack Van Berg, a Hall of Famer. And most notably, Alysheba's sire was Alydar, the noble star-crossed legend denied 3 times by Affirmed in that last exhilarating Triple Crown season.
If breeding and good bloodlines are inherent traits of Triple Crown winners, then Alysheba was destined for glory. His father, Alydar, was a superior thoroughbred who, in 1978, with Affirmed, staged one of the most brilliant Triple Crown series in horse racing history.
One of the great Triple Crown series of all time was in 1978 when Affirmed and Alydar locked up, all season long, beginning at Santa Anita and going through the Triple Crown races, and Affirmed had Alydar's number.
But it's going to be Affirmed. Affirmed with Steve Corbin is going to win this 104th running of the Kentucky Derby. Alydar is second, believe it, third. Coming on to the 16th hole. It's Affirmed. Alydar on the outside. They come on down to the finish. Affirmed and Alydar. Here's the finish. Affirmed wins it. Alydar beaten by a neck. Affirmed and Alydar heads apart. Affirmed's got a nose in front as they come on to the wire. At the finish, it's going to be dead tight. Affirmed won it. Alydar is second.
Alydar became the only horse ever to finish second in all 3 legs of the Triple Crown. Now, 9 years later, it was up to his son, Alysheba, to beat the odds and to win what his father was denied.
This horse could do things you couldn't believe. He was awesome. I didn't know that as a 2-year-old he had it trapped up his bodice. I thought it was my fault that I didn't have him fit, So once we corrected that, that's when he really showed himself.
Although Alysheba's throat operation improved his performance, his temperament didn't win him any fans.
Alysheba was very peculiar. You cannot be too rough on him because he pinned his back and he kind of refuses. So you have more or less you had to get to know him and you go from there.
I think horses very much have people personalities. They're just as individual as they can be, and my favorite game is to say, well, if this horse were a person, he'd be like so-and-so, because they really do. Some of them are laid back, some of them are willing and kind, some of them are nasty and rude, and they're all just like people, and I think they have the same work qualities too.
Alysheba, number 4, with the confidence of trainer Jack Van Berg and the skill of jockey Chris McCarron, who's never won the Derby. Charlesy Candy, Charlesy, it's about as close to the race as we can get. How do you see it?
Well, Jim, for the first time, I think we've got one of any 12 horses could win this race and not be considered an upset. I think the race is going to go to the rider who's able to make the most of the traffic situation, not lose ground, and keep his horse out of trouble.
Be gone. Away quickly from between horses. Now there goes Leo Castelli on the inside, though Capote grabs the early lead past the stands for the first time. From between horses on the line, charging up to get command. Capote along the inside is second, and on the outside, that's Candy's Gold Racing third. In the middle of the track, No More Flowers up fourth. Ben Twice is fifth. Masterful Advocate from between horses sixth. There goes Leo Castelli bullying his way between horses seventh. Masterful Advocate, in fact, almost went out. War is in trouble on the inside, around the first turn. Capote leads it by a length. Stablemate on the line into second position by 2. Candy's Gold on the outside, third by a head. Along the inside, that's Leo Castelli with Jacinto Vasquez in the irons in fourth position. War regaining on the inside now fifth. Bet Twice is sixth. Masterful Advocate is seventh. No More Flowers on the outside is racing eighth. Templar Hill moving through along the inside ninth. Chocolate One is 10th. No More Flowers back to 11th. After that, it's Alysheba, Momentous, Crypto Clearance. Between horses, Gulch is far back. On the outside, Conquista Rose is 16th. And the favorite, Demons Be Gone, is 17th and last. He's pulling up around the far turn. On the inside, it's on the line, but on the outside, there goes Bet Twice to the front by a head with Craig Perret aboard. On the inside, that's On the Line with Gary Stevens hanging tough as they turn for home, a quarter of a mile to go. Bet Twice taking the lead by 1. On the outside, here comes Alysheba. On the line, dropping out of it. Middle of the racetrack, Crypto Clearance with Jose Santos is flying. Leo Castelli between horses. And down the stretch they come. Bet Twice on the inside leads it by a head. On the outside, here comes Alysheba. Alysheba with Chris McCarron to the front. Bet Twice back to second. Here's the finish. Alysheba wins it by 3 parts of a length. On the inside, Bet Twice finishing second. Havies Copley with Mickey Salamone, part of the neutral field, finishing third. That's the unofficial finish. Jack Van Berg was right. Alysheba did get his confidence back.
Chris, it's been a little while coming for you, but you won the Kentucky Derby. Congratulations.
Well, I don't think it could have come too soon. An experience like this is just unbelievable. I'm ecstatic. It was a very exciting trip. I had a very rough trip, and the colt was able to survive a little stumbling performance there at the 8th pole and still overcome that. And how he won today, I just can't believe.
Here is Chris McCarron in a beautiful ride with Alysheba, but watch the traffic problems right from the start.
The thing I remember most about Alysheba was his race in the Kentucky Derby. He did something in the stretch of the Kentucky Derby that horses really can't do. I mean, he just literally was knocked to his knees in the heat of the stretch drive and got back up when any other horse would have had a perfect excuse just to kind of flatten out and give it up and get beat 3, 4, 5 lengths, and he just wasn't going to be beaten.
Rarely does a horse have the kind of trouble that Alysheba had during the stretch run of the Kentucky Derby and come back to win it. I mean, it was an incredible comeback.
And this is a horse that was developing a reputation as a bridesmaid. He kept finishing second, he kept finishing third. He'd won only 1 race in 10 career starts.
Alysheba has the first leg of the Triple Crown. 2 more to win, and then he would win $5 million.
When we return to Run for the Crown, Alysheba heads to Maryland, home of the second leg of the Triple Crown. We now return to Run for the Crown 1987.
Now let's meet the contenders for the 112th running of the Preakness Stakes. Number 6 is the winner of the Kentucky Derby, only horse with a chance for the Triple Crown, Alysheba. Chris McCarron on his back, returning to Maryland.
When we walked on the racetrack, Preakness Day, and got at the end of the grandstand, and those people started clapping and hollering, Alysheba, Alysheba, and that's when he started doing that little dance where he danced a little bit and then kick his rear up in the air. It's the greatest thrill there is.
And they're off. He's moving fast, and down the stretch they come. Photo finish! And they're off. Toward the inside, Harriman goes for the lead from the middle of the pack, looking for the big one. Now charges up quickly and takes the lead by a neck. Harriman along the inside is second. Those two duel. 2 back at the rail. Bet Twice is racing third. No More Flowers surprisingly up fourth on the outside. Then it's a gap of some 5 lengths to Phantom Jet, who's in fifth. Alysheba, the Derby winner, is 6th on the outside. Avies Copy is racing 7th. Gulch is 8th, and Crypto Clearance is 9th and last, the first quarter in 23 1/5 seconds. The battle continues on the front end, and Harriman on the inside takes the lead by a head. On the outside, looking for the big one. Those two cooking on the front end. It's 2 back to Bet Twice, who is now clear in third. A gap of 2 and No More Flowers fourth. Gulch beginning to close stoutly on the outside. Alysheba between horses, then Phantom Jet. Then along the inside, Crypto Clearance and Avies Copy, now the trailer. As they race down the backstretch, it's still the top two racing as a team, looking for the big one on the outside. Harriman at the rail, a gap of a length and a half, and Bet Twice is poised on the outside third and ready to move on the leaders. Along the inside, Crypto Clearance is fourth and gaining, now fourth by a head, and Alysheba on the outside is fifth, and Cordero puts Gulch in gear. Gulch on the outside, charging to contention, but it's Bet Twice with Craig Perret, who comes away with the lead as they approach the quarter pole. Now Bet Twice has it by a head. Alysheba is charging on the inside. That's looking for the big one, dropping back. Gulch in the middle of the racetrack, and Crypto Clearance looks for racing room, and down the stretch they come. Alysheba with Chris McCarron on the outside. Bet Twice toward the inside with Perret. It's a replay of the Kentucky Derby, and on the outside, here comes Alysheba. Alysheba is going to win it, taking the second jewel of racing's greatest prize, the Triple Crown. It was Bet Twice finishing second, and Crypto Clearance was third. Alysheba, about middle of the pack down the backstretch, roared through the stretch and comes home in 1 minute 55 and 4/5 seconds. And boy, what a big step to the Triple Crown. There have been only 11 Triple Crown winners, and Alysheba looks like he has the stuff to be the 12th.
We knew he was a good horse. We knew he was a brave horse. There are the owners. Now he may be a great horse.
Indeed he is, Jim. He proved that his race in the Derby was no fluke. Time, as Jack Van Berg says, matters only to those in prison. Alysheba has the stuff of which good horses are made. This could be the year.
The Preakness was probably the easiest win of his career as far as I'm concerned. I waited till I got down inside the 8th pole with only one horse left in front of me. Again, it was Bet Twice, and I set him down and I asked him hard from that point on. But he literally galloped around the racetrack that day, and that built up my confidence to such a great level.
You know, anytime you get a close, exciting stretch drive like that, believe me, I don't care if you have an emotional attachment to the horses or not. You're on your feet, and you just want to see the horse who's run the biggest race. You don't want to see him get beat.
Dorothy Scarborough, you've done your dad one better. He won the Derby. Now you've won the Derby and the Preakness.
Thank you. I feel very emotional and can't talk much. I'm sorry.
Jack Van Berg, the winningest trainer of all time, but he has won his first Kentucky Derby, and now he has won the Preakness as well.
It's the greatest feeling that you can put in, and you got to have your horse healthy. You got to have him fit. You got to hope that he don't catch a cold, that nothing happens to him. Everything's got to be just perfect to get there.
When we return, Alysheba seeks perfection in New York in the final leg for his run for the crown. We now return to Run for the Crown 1987.
Alysheba is now within one victory of becoming the 12th horse to sweep the Triple Crown. But there's an element of doubt that surrounds the colt's bid because he won the Derby and Preakness while taking Lasix, a diuretic used to prevent bleeding, and according to some, a drug that improves overall performance. At the time, horses were not permitted to run with Lasix at New York tracks, so critics question whether Alysheba could go the distance drug-free. Let's now go to the Belmont Stakes and possibly a new Triple Crown winner.
I've never trained a horse that I had that much confidence in. I've never trained a horse that I was that high that I knew when I led him over there he wasn't going to lie to me.
Number 4, the horse of destiny. Well, that's what we're here to find out. Alysheba, son of Alydar, trying to surpass what his father did before him. Chris McCarron aboard.
No matter what happens in the Belmont Stakes, win, lose, or draw, I've got to be totally satisfied with what has happened so far.
Charlesy, there's a tendency to put down this horse. And even though he's won the Derby with great courage, won the Preakness, I can't buy it. I think he can run all day. I have to pick him. How do you stand?
I feel the same way, Jim. I pick him now to win the Triple Crown, and I don't understand the lack of respect he gets either. Part of it certainly is the Lasix issue, which he will probably put to rest this afternoon. The other is they say his times have not been fast. Well, it took him a long time to fall on his face and get up again in the Derby, so we'll throw that one out. And the Preakness time was not a slow time. The track was different this year, so considering the way the track has been in the past, you put that time in proportion, it was a big race. And he ran very, very well in both of those races.
And they're off. He's moving fast, and down the stretch they come. Photo finish. And they're off. Alysheba gets to the front by a head, but on the outside, there goes Gulch, and Eddie Maple on the inside zooms up Gone West, and Gone West takes the lead. Mickey Solomoni has Avies Copy right into the second spot with Bet Twice in third. Then comes Gulch. Along the inside, Alysheba is now in fifth position as they round the first turn. Back to the front end. It's Gone West with an easy lead by a length and a quarter. Avies Copy is in second by 2. Bet Twice is racing third, 3 parts of a length. At the rail, that's Alysheba in fourth. Crypto Clearance is racing fifth. Gulch is next, then Leo Castelli. Chocolate won, and Cordero's literally standing up in the irons as he was in tight quarters or having some sort of a problem. And far back, Manasseh Jack is ninth. As they move on to the backstretch, now it's Avies Copy in front by 2.5 lengths. Gone West has taken the second spot, and Bet Twice is third by the same margin. Alysheba, looking for the Triple Crown, is in fourth position and some 8 lengths off the lead. Crypto Clearance with Pinkai on the outside is next. Then Chocolate won. Then the entry of Leo Castelli and Gulch, and far back, Manasseh Jack. They move down the backstretch. The first quarter in a slow 24-2, 49-2 for the half, 3 quarters in 1:13-4. This is not a fast pace, and that's why Avies Copy is looking real good right now with Solomoni. He's in front by 2, but now the field starts to tighten up. Maple asks for more and gets it with Gone West moving through between horses. Craig Perrette puts Bet Twice in gear, and now on the outside, it's Bet Twice taking command. Gone West is second. At the rail, it's Avies Copy third, and then Crypto Clearance and Alysheba race as a team in fourth and fifth. Chocolate won, and Leo Castelli. The story is right now Bet Twice, who's drawing away to lead it by some 4 lengths. Gone West is holding the second spot. Crypto Clearance is third. McCarran between horses looks for racing room and is in a little bit of trouble. Back into the fourth spot, Avies Copy drops back to be fifth. They've got less than a quarter of a mile to go. And look at Bet Twice. He's drawing away. 3/16 of a mile to go. Perrette looks over his shoulder, and there isn't anybody within 6 lengths of him. And down the stretch they come. It's Bet Twice, and he's just destroying this field. He's in front by 10. Crypto Clearance is second. Alysheba is next with a late charge Gulch. But look at the finish of the Belmont. Craig Perrette raises his whip in victory. The horse that finished second to Alysheba Twice has literally destroyed this field and won by 10.
The biggest mistake I made on Belmont Day was not letting Alysheba run into the first turn. He broke sharp, and I totally misunderstood Jack's instructions. Jack wanted me to have him lay close if the pace was going to be slow. And he came out of the running, and I was a little afraid that he was going to use himself too much going to the first turn. I grabbed a hold of him and took him back and tucked him in. What I should have done differently was let my horse run more freely.
Well, as Chris will tell you today, he made a bad mistake in the Belmont. It was not the Lasix or anything to do it. Of course, all the critics, all the sports writers had to talk about Lasix.
I did think that the Lasix issue was a viable excuse. This was a horse who used the bleeding medication. It's not illegal now. It was then. And it was a shame to have different rules in different states back then. I'm glad that at least it's equal now.
We're going to show you how $1 million disappeared for the Alysheba connections. He's in the middle, and on the outside nearer you is Gulch, number 2B, going for third place. Now, if Alysheba had finished third, he would have shared the $1 million with Bet Twice. Look how close it is as they come to the wire, and there it is.
I was upset. I was disgusted. I knew in my own mind he's the best horse. But, I mean, you can't blame nobody. Those things happen.
Well, there it is. $1 million to Bet Twice, June 6th, 1987.
He was the horse that I had the most trouble getting by. He was always the last competitor I had to run by. So with his dangerous speed, I knew that he was going to be tough in the Belmont, but I really didn't think he could beat us. I thought the further Alysheba went, the better. But Bet Twice went out there and ran the race of his life, won by 14 lengths.
When you're talking about a Triple Crown or the simplest race there is, if a horse doesn't want that worse than anything in the world, you can't pick him up and make him want to win.
When we return, we'll wrap up Alysheba's run for the crown. We now return to Run for the Crown 1987.
It's so difficult to win the Triple Crown because a horse is being asked at the age of 3 for the first time ever in most circumstances to win a race at 1.25 miles for starters. And then if the horse does that, he is the only horse who has a chance to win the Triple Crown. And what he's asked to do is 2 weeks after that come back, run 1 mile and 3/16 at a different racetrack in Baltimore, win that race. And then with 21 days rest, come back and win a race over 1.5 miles at Belmont Park.
I was more confident going into the Belmont than probably any horse I've ever ridden, and I was devastated. I was devastated when he didn't win. I was devastated in the performance that I put up, which was poor.
It might have made a difference in my life if I'd have won the Triple Crown, you know, and got too high on myself, so he might have brought me back down to earth. So that's the way you have to feel about it.
The Belmont result was a costly blow for Alysheba's inner circle. The colt entered the race with a chance to win $3.5 million in bonuses, but a 4th place finish kept him out of the money. However, it's only fair to note that Alysheba was very much in the money as a 4-year-old. On the way to being named Horse of the Year in '88, he'd win 7 of his 8 starts and earn $3 million. Overall, Alysheba's career earnings of nearly $7 million would make him one of the richest thoroughbreds in racing history. For everyone at ESPN Classic, I'm Chris Fowler. Thanks for joining us on Run for the Crown.